Good morning. How is everybody? Welcome to Coffee Chats. Happy Tuesday. It is March 4th. Can you believe it? All right. Yup. Well, good. The weather is pretty decent. Feels like spring a little bit. I know it's a teaser. We can never depend on it, right? We just got to roll with it in Minnesota. I will let you know what's going on for the week, and then as usual, I will hand it over to Jeff for the difficult questions. Love that part. All right, so this is what's happening for the week. Upstairs today at 10 a.m., David Jones is back. He is going to be talking about the Statue of Liberty. And so it's titled, Statue of Liberty, the 2 decades of effort, almost impossible odds. The Statue of Liberty stands proudly in the New York Harbor, but how did it come to be? What does it symbolize? Join us for a compelling look at the idea, the construction, and the meaning behind the most recognized symbolism in the world. So has anyone seen the Statue of Liberty here? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
It is pretty amazing. Isn't that quite loud enough? All right. Boy, you just can't win. It's either it's too loud, it's not loud enough. Is this better, Sherry? All right.
Don't hold it so close to your mouth.
Oh my goodness gracious, it's one of those mornings. How's this? Okay, we had some technical difficulties with the microphone, so we have a new microphone. Maybe that's what's going on. Is that okay? All right. Should I start over again, Mike? The Statue of Liberty. No, just kidding. All right, I'll move on for the rest of the week. Whew. Gosh darn it, it's getting hot around here. All right, 1 p.m. We have open art studio today in the art room. March 5th, Wednesday, 7 to 9, we have our pancake breakfast. Is everyone enjoying that tradition coming back here? Yes? Thank you, Bob. All right, then we have 1 p.m. we have our TED Talks every Wednesday, and that's recorded. We have 3 topics. How to turn setbacks into success. I'm a conservative and I care about the climate too. How AI can bridge to the deaf and the hearing worlds together. Those are the 3 topics for TED Talks. We have also 1 p.m. on Wednesdays, we have our writing group that meets. 1:30, we have 500. This Wednesday is our alterations at 3 p.m. You can sign up for that. There's little time slots for that with Alice. 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, we have bingo. Just FYI, I have written up with pictures, step by step, how to run the bingo procedure. I'm hoping that it's clear now. In addition to that, I've done the same thing for the movie process. So I've done step 1, and I put a little picture, step 2, etc. So I hope it's clear. I hope that helps out in the future, because I understand that bingo, there was some difficulties with the processing of that with bingo. So that there is a manual, little 3-ring binder that's sitting on the cabinet in Marion Hall. And so if you open that up, you'll find instructions for both bingo and the movie process. So
You got that so you can run the bingo?
yeah, so you can run the movie a little bit better. All right, so then let's see here. And there has always been, but it's kind of changed a little bit. So there has always been instructions in there, but we have an update. And so the process is a little bit different. Okay. I'll move on for the rest of the week. Thursday, March 6th, 9 and 11, we have our recorded coffee chats on 991. 10:20 is our departure for the excursion. And this week, we are going to the Minnesota Arboretum. And it is the Spring Flower Show. And at this point, I'm going to stop the sign up for it. I only purchased 10 tickets because I thought it was kind of a special occurrence or excursion, and I wasn't quite sure if it would be popular, so I only did buy the 10 tickets. So FYI, if you have signed up and you have your check-in, I'm no longer going to accept any more because I only bought the 10 tickets just out of precaution. So it is full, but it's a spring flower show, so it should be quite lovely. Friday, the March 7th, we have 1 p.m. We have a recorded coffee chats on 991. 1 p.m. we have bridge, we have poker for you to enjoy, and Friday at 4 p.m. we have happy hour. This Friday is our potluck down here in the atrium. And then of course on Fridays we have our movie, and again we have instructions for the movie upstairs, so hopefully there's no issues with that in the future. And the movie for this week is Twister, and it's an action. Two storm chasers on the brink of divorce must work together to test a new groundbreaking tornado data gathering device as the most powerful storm of the century approaches. And on March 8th, Saturday, March 8th, 8 a.m., we have men's breakfast. 10:35 a.m. Our excursion departs for the Chanhassen this Saturday, and it's going to be Greece. So I will be printing that out, getting that typed out, making sure that the checks are in. I think we're pretty good on that, but that if there's some juggling with who's going and who's not, you can check in with me, but I will kind of make sure that's all organized today. 7 p.m. we have bingo, and next Monday, March 10th, 1 p.m. we have knit and chat. We have 7 p.m. we have our Point Players group meeting, and 500 at 7 p.m. next Monday. And then just FYI, the following Tuesday, so this will be March 11th, at 11:30 we have our free hearing aid cleaning service. So if you want to get your hearing aids cleaned, that meets up in Marion Hall. There's not a sign-up sheet for that as of yet, unless it becomes quite popular and it's suggested, but that's just for you. It has been recommended if you need parts that you bring a checkbook. I don't know quite what that means if you need batteries, etc. That would be something you'd want to bring your checkbook with just in case. But that is what we have for the week. Is there any questions? No questions? All right, I will hand it over to Jeff.
When's daylight savings time?
Next week, right?
Yeah.
Saturday. Thank you, Cliff.
Sunday.
Is it Sunday? 2 o'clock in the morning.
Saturday 2 a.m. A horse walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Why the long face?" How am I sounding, Mike? Jeez, we've been at this a while, folks. We know when we got problems. Speaking of which, Jillian says the weather will be pretty decent. Does someone want to remind her we're in the middle of a winter storm watch that begins tonight at 6 o'clock? Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Get a roll with it.
You don't have to come up and clear things up, Jillian. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning. One thing we need to address is when people go use Marion Hall for one reason or another, the big screen TV and the TV in the back, we want to get more people trained on how to use those. So we are looking for some volunteers that might come and we can train you, and you would be available to help. I mean, it's not uncommon for someone to have a birthday party for a resident or a shower or whatever, and they want to show picture slides or something like that, or run a little PowerPoint presentation, and they don't know how to get it working on the TV. So what we're going to try to do is recruit some folks that will be able to help be support so that people's parties and things aren't soured because they couldn't run the TVs.
Is it typical for people to use that for PowerPoint here?
I don't know that it's typical for people to use it for PowerPoint, but I had to come up with an example of something that why they weren't able to do it. But thank you for pointing that out too. You and I are going to have problems by the end of the day. It's movies. Well, yes, the movies are a problem. The Super Bowl was a problem. Bingo was a problem. So there are a number of problems. And if we had someone, you know, unless we just make that closet in back of Marion Hall Jillian's bedroom and she can sleep here.
Yes, I still don't know how to use it for TV very well.
I'm not even going to repeat that she still doesn't know how to use a TV very well.
Guys can switch off.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. We've had a few questions about when your new leases are coming. I don't know. Every other Tuesday, I have a call with my boss and the manager of Rose Point and River Point. And we haven't talked about Rose Point and River Point in a long time, but there are 3 point communities. Rose Point in Roseville, Minnesota, and River Point in Littleton, Colorado. Okay, and our corporate offices are in Eden Prairie. And every other Tuesday, we'll have a call with myself, the manager of Rose, River, and my boss, John Exline, and our human resources person, Betsy Conway. And one of our subjects has been we needed to get more of a standard lease for all 3 properties, but because of the difference in the properties, we can't have all identical leases. So our legal department is looking at the lease and we haven't gotten it back yet. We'll get it back, and then Patty and Paula and myself and whoever else around here will look at it and see if we are okay with it or changes need to be made. Then we'll get it out to you folks. So that's where we're at with that. Also, for those of you that are computer savvy, listen up. For those that maybe aren't, talk amongst yourselves, but talk quietly. Windows 10 is an operating system that I wouldn't doubt many of you have on your computer. I'm told by a very reliable source who happens to be running our camera this morning that as of October 25th, there will be no more updates, no more patches. The way the computers work is you want to do more things. You want to be able to watch video, you want to be able to do things. The people that design the programs and stuff come up with stuff that the computers can't accommodate because they haven't got the processing skills. So they bump up the processing skill, which all of a sudden comes out with a new version of Windows. At some point they say it's not worth it to keep, and so they'll take the older versions and they'll patch, update. That's what those updates do. Those updates allow you to run some of the more modern programs and things like that. And so eventually they say, it's the engine in that old computer just isn't enough to run what we need to run. We're gonna say, Uncle, we're not gonna update it, we're not gonna do anything anymore. I can think of some errors in what I said there, but I hope you I'm pretty close, aren't I?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that being said, when you start up your computer, on the banner, keep an eye on the screen when you start it up. If it says Windows 10, then you need to talk to somebody. If it says Windows, I don't even know what version of Windows we're on now.
Windows 11.
If it says Windows 11, you're fine. So, does anyone have any questions on that?
What's the solution?
What's the solution?
You cannot update the Windows 10.
You cannot update the Windows 10, so what's the solution?
Buy a new computer.
Buy a new computer. I'm starting a part-time job at Best Buy this weekend, and I'm getting a 35% commission, so please wait till then to buy your computer. I'll let you know when I'm working. And that's the other thing. Buy a new computer. That no longer is as intimidating as it once was. Just like, who's bought a TV recently? Lanny, how much did you pay for that TV?
Couple hundred?
I think it was like 800 or 1,000.
Oh, so you got a state-of-the-art one. Okay, anyone else buy a TV? You can buy a really, really, really good 45, 50-inch TV for 300 bucks. So, computers are the same. The prices come down lots.
Talk about the consequence of running Windows 10 after October 25th with no updates. What's the consequence?
Roger, you told me to explain the problem, not the solution. There are consequences of running Windows 10 after October 25th. I don't know what they are, but I know one thing that can happen is you'll end up dead in the water and your computer won't run some of the programs that you may want it to run. I think you want to update. Is that enough?
No.
What is it?
The big thing you're missing is the scammers tests. And you will lose your money, for example, or you lose a chunk of money, or your computer will die. There's just all kinds of bad things that can happen when you don't get updates.
Yep. There's a good slap in the face for me. The odds of you being more at risk increase greatly when the computer's not supported. When you get those Windows updates, one of the most important things they do is they'll be out there in cyberspace and they'll say, oh, this is how hackers are getting into our machines. The good guys will make patches so that the hackers can't get in there, and they've got to figure out another way to get in. So, most importantly, you could be at risk if you don't have a newer version of Windows.
11 or 12.
11 or 12. Thank you, Roger. Very, very good. Can I go back to being a smart aleck now? Joanne.
Does that apply to the updates on the TV also?
Usually, does that apply to the updates on the TV? I don't think your updates on your TV, I believe, are mostly for the streaming services, and so it's a different operating system than would be your bank and all that stuff. Now, I don't know that doesn't mean that if someone got into your TV, I know that Netflix has my credit card to pay for Netflix, right?
Yes.
So that's a very good question, and I'm not sure I know the answer to that, but as I stand here thinking about it now, I would almost say, yeah, you could be at risk. And I have had a update your TV sign on my TV for a long time, and I haven't done anything.
What about Apple?
Apple's a totally different animal. They'll tell you they have the regular updates and stuff too.
They don't run Windows.
They don't run Windows, but they run iOS, and iOS is some of the same, it's the same protocol for Apple as it is for Windows, in that they make changes, there's obsolescence of earlier versions of phones, so if you have questions, ask. And if you have AI on your computer, AI is the bomb, folks. I just love it. Anyway, Art, talk to Roger. Does anyone have any questions on anything or comments?
One's the escape
the east gate, that's gonna be up to Jillian. She's our weather person. She'll know when it's not gonna be icy and stuff. She was not hired for weather. You got that right. The odds of you being hired for weather are slim and none now. No, we'll see how it goes. And we can always lock it up too if it gets icy. But then people get upset because one day it's open, one day it's closed, stuff like that. Certainly when we get out of the severe danger of freezing. May. Okay. Any other questions? Joanne.
This may be a small problem, but I have gone into the public bathrooms and the faucets are running or trickling sometimes. You need to push hard on it.
You're right, that is a small problem. I'm not going to waste my time with it. No, her point is she'll go into the public restrooms and the sinks are dripping sometimes. It's just a matter of pushing them down. You know what, maybe we need to get some washers or something put in those so that it's not a matter. It's 2025. We shouldn't have to pay attention to the water stopping after we push the handle down. So, thank you, Joanne. Patty.
New residents?
Are there any new residents here today? Yes, ma'am.
Margie Olson.
Margie Olson? Where are you from, Margie? Hopkins? Okay. Do you know anyone here? Okay. Welcome. What apartment are you in? 311 East? All right. What new residents usually do is you bake a couple cakes and have an open house. You can use our coffee urn, but expect about 150 people going through this afternoon. All right? Anyone else? Welcome. Welcome to Ridge Point. Just lock your door and put a do not disturb sign on it. Yes. Ann.
From my apartment, I can look at the east building. And why don't they turn off the lights in Marion Hall and the gym? They're on all night sometimes.
Yep.
A lot of electricity.
We use that light to keep the parking lots lit up a little bit. Marketing does not like when the place is dark on first floor. It's not saving a whole lot of money turning those lights off. It costs...
It lights up the sidewalks.
That's what I mean. It lights up the sidewalks, it illuminates the place. If you turn the light off, yep, you're saving money then, but when you turn the light on, it takes more electricity to get that light bulb up and running than it does to keep that light bulb on for a certain time. Obviously, there's a cutoff period, and don't ask me what that is, but there is. No? Thank you, Ann.
Good question.
Anything else? All right, birthdays. Today, Barbara Lanning. Tomorrow, Mary Wagner. Mary can throw down some muffins, folks. Every once in a while, she'll drop some off at the desk. Excellent muffins. Thank you, Mary. Anytime you want to drop some more off, go ahead. On the 7th, Sandy Weiner. On the 10th, Beverly Parks, Lanny Burke. And the 11th, we'll do next week. No anniversaries. All right, let's sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. Have a good week, everybody.